All right, peace, peace. Can you hear me? Press 9 in the chat box if you can hear me. Press 9 in the chat box if you can hear me. Wait for me to get a confirmation, then I'll go in with the presentation. All right, there we go. Peace, everybody. Thank you, Kenny, T Fly, MC Pickett, Chris Enlighten. All right, we're in the building. We're in the building. All right. Okay, this is Ali, SAliMyers.com. And today I'm giving out 7 reasons why you may not be growing spiritually. So I can assure you, if you're in a spot where you feel like you're not getting it in all the way, or you feel like something's holding you back, it's probably one of the 7 things that I'm going to list today. Also going to give you something you can do for each one. So it's not just pointing out problems and then leaving you to hang out in the dry. So I'm going to point out one of the reasons, give you 1 or 2 things that you can do, and then I'll also have a couple announcements as usual, and then I'll answer any questions that pertains to the topic. So I like to keep everything topic based. I promise you, I plan on in the future, in the very near future, putting up something for I could give like a Q&A for the YouTube fam. Because I know every time I do one of these broadcasts, mad people got questions. So I'm going to make myself available and answer questions for you pertaining to anything. But today we're just dealing with not growing spiritually. So keep the questions related to that. And I also ask that you ask the questions after I disseminate the information. So it's not going to take that long. I know normally I've been on here for about an hour. Information rather quickly so we can get it in. First off, like growing spiritually, depending on how you define things, you may have your own definition for spirituality, and that's perfectly fine. Do not let my definition trump what you already feel like spirituality means for you. When I say spirituality and spiritual growth, all I'm referring to is the part of you that is not physical. You can call it your soul, you can call it your spirit, you can call it your mind, you can call it your emotions, you can call it anything that is not tangible, not physical. So when you're growing spiritually, what you're doing is cultivating a part of yourself that has nothing to do with your humanity and ego. It will relate to your humanity and ego because everything is connected. As spiritualists, we see everything as holistic, mind, body, and soul. But when we're talking about spiritual growth, the emphasis is going to be more on the spirit, the soul, the mind, the emotions, things that you cannot readily touch. So when you're growing spiritually, what it does is it's going to make you have an inner knowing. I'm big on having inner realization and inner knowing. So when you're growing spiritually, there's an internal thing that lets you know, yes, I'm headed in the right direction. Or it's going to be the voice telling you, no, you're heading in the wrong direction. So simply put, growing spiritually means you're becoming more of your God self. You're becoming, it's an internal thing where you don't have to have anybody tell you, hey, you're growing spiritually. It's an internal thing. So no one can define this for you. Nobody can define if you're growing spiritually. The only thing people can do is confirm it. I feel you. I confirm that or stuff like that. But simply put, nobody can define what spiritual growth is for you. Um, so the 7 things I'm going to list is based on my experience working with people. And at this point in my career, I've worked with thousands of people across the world. So from working with people one-on-one, working with people during workshops, classes, my various programs, and just also just having a temperature on the spiritual community. So the 7 thing, and also surveys. I run a lot of surveys. If you're in my network or my email list, then you know I run surveys quite often or whatever. So the 7 reasons are based off my experience and also the survey and just having a finger on the spiritual community. So this is in no particular order. I'll lay down each one, and I'll also give you something that you can do in order to get over, and not something you have to pay for either, something for free that you can do, but you're going to have to put in work. You're going to have to put in work. Press 9 if you can hear me. I'm seeing people saying that the volume is not working, they can't hear me. Press 9 if you can hear me. Yo, test, can you hear me? Okay, I'm still okay. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is, so you have to go back and watch the replay. But people said they can still hear me, so I'm gonna get it in. All right, cool. Thank you, yo. All right, first reason, this is in no particular order. And like I said, this is based on my experience, based on getting feedback from the people I work with and all that good stuff. So these are solid, yo. Very solid. I promise you, one of them you're gonna find yourself in it. So in no particular order, the first reason I want to talk about is environment. You don't have a conducive environment for your spiritual growth. Couple of things I hear often is I don't have time to meditate because I have too many people in the crib. If you have a lot of people in your house, or if you have a small home where you don't have enough privacy to meditate, what I recommend to people when they haven't live in a crib where they don't have the space or the quietness to meditate, what I recommend is get headphones. When you use headphones, it drowns out all the outside noise. So if you put some like nature sounds, go into YouTube, put in alpha binaural beats or beta binaural beats, data binaural beats, isochronic tones, nature sounds, meditative tones. Those are the keywords that you want to look for. Put that in YouTube, listen to a YouTube video while you're meditating. Therefore, you won't hear the children, your husband, wife, whoever's in the crib, you won't hear them because you'll hear something meditative. If you close your eyes, then you won't see anybody. It doesn't even matter if you have a room that you can go in and be in by yourself. You could be in a room full of people. If you got your headphones on and you have your eyes closed, it's like you're by yourself. So that's one of the things I've noticed is people don't have an environment that's conducive for their spiritual growth. And the first example I gave was meditation. Another example that I get, or another question that I get from people is that they have a place where it's too small and or they don't have room for their altar. Based on my teachers, I teach a lot about the altar, and I consider that one of the most important practices that you can do. So if you live in a spot where you're worried about your children, you're worried about in-laws, you're worried about family, you have some concerns in your environment about your altar. There's a couple things. If you live in a small crib, like if you feel like you don't have room in the crib, what I recommend is putting floating shelves on the wall. I made a video saying, I forget the words, but if you put an altar in small places, altar in small places, in that video, I recommended that if you live in a small spot, just put your altar on the wall. You can go to IKEA and get them hanging shelves for the low. I'm talking like $5 probably, especially less than $10. Put a floating shelf on the wall and put your altar actually elevated. Can't reach it, and plus it's gonna save space. So that's one of the things you can do. Also, if you're worried about people coming over, like in-laws, family, friends, and stuff like that, I don't recommend it, but you have to do whatever you got to do. You can make like a makeshift altar where you put it in a drawer. So take a drawer, empty it, and then place your altar in that drawer, and you can kind of hide your altar or whatever. That's worst case scenario type stuff. I also had a brother I was working with. Shout out to King. He lives in Indianapolis, whatever. And I know for a time he couldn't have his altar out. So what I recommended for him was to take a shoebox and make his altar. Therefore, he can hide the shoebox, place it under bed or whatever. Put an offering in there, leave it in for a couple hours, then throw the offering away. But if you're in a spot, your environment is kind of holding you back, you have to intelligently come up with a way of getting over it or whatever. So I just laid out meditation and altar work. But environment is one of the reasons why people are having a hard time growing spiritually. Okay, am I still being heard? Press 9 if you can still hear me. I'm getting mad. People say they can't hear me, that YouTube is freezing and stuff like that. So press 9 if you can still hear me, you can see me. All right. Yeah, people still saying they hear me, so I'm assuming everything's cool and the playback at least be cool. So the second reason that you may not be growing spiritually is lack of guidance. First one is environment. The second reason is lack of guidance. Who I consider the highest master teacher on this planet, Dr. Gibson, Tybro.com, Tybro.com. He once stated a while back, I'm talking years ago when he first came on the scene, He said that humans have been guided forever. Humans have been guided forever. And when you do like the research, the raw search into the antiquity of our society or of our planet, period, you'll notice that even in the high civilized places like ancient Kemet, even ancient Greek, Rome, Mesopotamia, Mesoamerica, all these high civilizations, they all had a form of guidance. Either they had a ruler, they had a leader, they had pharaohs on a human level, or in basically in, not or, and they had higher intelligences that were guided them. I'm speaking extraterrestrials, deities, angels, and in some cases even demons. You know, that might not be comfortable for most of you, but it's a fact of life. So what that tells you is humans have been guided for a long time. And even if you look at today's society, when you go to work, what do you have? You have a supervisor, or you have a manager. When you go to school, what do you have? You have a teacher, you have a principal. Everywhere you go, there's some sort of hierarchy or whatever. So in your spiritual growth, if you feel like that you're not growing spiritually, is maybe due to lack of guidance. You may not have a teacher or mentor. And when I say this, a teacher or mentor, I'm not talking about sitting at the feet of a master or paying somebody X amount of dollars, even though it could be that way or whatever. All I'm saying is you need a teacher, a mentor, or somebody that is you consider a role model. And you live in the internet age. You don't have to, this doesn't have to be physically. But what I recommend is find someone that you can study their moves virtually. So go on Facebook, go to their YouTube, go to their LinkedIn, everywhere on social media. If they have a YouTube page, go there. But you want to start to look at somebody that you can consider a role model. This is big in like sports, entertainment. They have no problems with this. It seems like in spirituality, there's a disconnect from guidance. Like we are humble students. A lot of people say it, a lot of people post it, but if you're a true humble student, you have no problem accepting guidance. And when this guidance is placed in front of you, because many of you are being led to certain people. If I had $1 for every time I had a question of, I'm looking for a teacher and I don't know if I found one, but the person is following 3 or 4 people, you've already found a teacher. The problem is you're not implementing what the teacher suggests. So one of the things that people do is they find a teacher and they just watch them and become like a fan of theirs, which is fine. But the teacher is not there to be idol worship. A teacher is there as an example. So if you have a teacher or two that you're following, make sure that you implement their teachings. If they're meditating a certain way, implement that in your regimen. If they're reading certain books, implement that. If they're holding seminars and lectures, go attend that. You want to follow that particular person. That can serve as your guidance. On another level, obviously, you can pay to get mentors, pay for classes and stuff like that. But I wanted to give y'all some free information that you can use. And I'm saying, use the internet. You know, there's many of people, thousands of people right now following Dr. Gibson. There's a lot of people following me, a lot of people following Brother Panic. We're out here. Just follow the people that you're led to and see what they're doing. And don't just listen to them, actually implement what they're teaching. So, second reason, lack of guidance. And once again, this is in no particular order. And after I'm done, I'll field any questions that you have concerning spiritual growth. So the third reason why you may not be growing spiritually, and this is actually the last video I made, the last YouTube broadcast, was information overload. And I did a whole lecture, a whole dissertation about information overload. So go into my channel, look at that video. But for the sake of this video, to keep the list good, information overload is you're taking too much information. What the first chamber that most people go under when they go into spirituality is gathering information. So they're researching, they're reading, they're studying, they're attending lecture, they're just consuming information. And in the video, what I told you was, if you get too much information, that causes information overload. And in that video, I laid out the symptoms. But one of the major symptoms of information overload is confusion. And this is the way I like to describe it. If you have one, then you have something to go to. There's no decision making. You're just going to go to it. Soon when you're introduced to two things, you have a choice to make. Do I go here or do I go here? The more choices you have, the more confusion you're going to have. So if you have 7 choices, 7 things, do you have 7 choices? And if that's too much information, you can become overwhelmed. How many of you right now have about 20 things on your to-do list or 20 things that you want to get done? How many? Say yes, say me. If you have so many things that you want to do, but you're seeing like you're bombarded. And what I always recommend is to take one thing. That's one piece of information. Apply that and then see how that's going to change your life. But when you're going around just gathering information, you become a hoarder where you're just burying stuff or whatever. Got all these books on the shelf, but you're not reading anything. Got all these lectures up, but you're not applying anything. So all information, information, information. So that's one of the reasons why you may not be growing spiritually is you're dealing with too much information. What I recommend too, like turn everything off. I can assure you 20 minutes of meditation is better than you reading 20 books on meditation. I'm going to repeat that again. Meditating for 20 minutes is better than you reading 20 books on meditation. An altar offering is better than you reading 20 books on how to give an altar offering. You feel me? We have to get to the point where the information becomes secondary. Recommend is like once you start to do so much work, you're going to get your own stream of information, your own downloads. Therefore, you'll be able to share information with other people based on your experience. If I were to come up here and just give a lecture on 7 reasons why you may not be growing spiritually, and it's all based on my research, then that's good, but it's not going to be as impactful as this is because it's based on my experience. It's not based on just me researching and looking up stuff. This is based on me working with people and working on myself. These are the things that I come to realize. That's how you apply information. So information overload, one of the major reasons why you may not be growing spiritually, yo. Another reason is you're on the wrong path. You're on the wrong path altogether. And I'm going to give you this simple example. Say you came here to be a master numerologist. Your path is for you to be a master numerologist. Study how numbers affect humanity and how they deal with reality. Say you came here to do that, but yet you're studying the tarot. Every day you're waking up, researching, looking up information on the tarot. Now, for people that are versed in numerology, you know that numerology applies to all the divination systems, especially tarot and astrology. Why? Because they have numbers dealing with them. So when you become efficient in numerology or proficient in numerology, you'll see the connection between the tarot, astrology, and all the other systems. But in my example, if you came here to be a master numerologist, but you're studying tarot in a traditional sense where you want to be a tarot reader, or you're studying casting, throwing bones, bone casting or rune casting, you're studying an I Ching, you're studying everything but numerology. You're on the wrong path. You're on the wrong path. Not saying that you're not going to get back to where you need to get to, not saying that the things that you're studying are it's not going to benefit you when you get to your right path. But what I'm saying is delaying your spiritual growth, is delaying you getting to where you're going to get to. Let me use a mundane example. If you live, let's say you live 15 minutes from your job, all right? Your crib is about 15 minutes from your job. To get to your job, you got to get on the highway. Let's just say I-75. I live in Ohio. Let's just say you got to get on I-75 and get off at the exit. That's your path to get to work. Now, let's say that you, instead of going on I-75, you go down Route 63, you take that all the way, you go to Route 70, you go to Indianapolis, then you say, I'm going to go to Illinois. Long story short, you take 8 hours to get to work. Not saying that you didn't get to work, but as opposed to it taking you 15 minutes, it took you 8 hours. Wrong path. And I promise you, if your spirituality is that, looks like that, where you're studying and doing things that you know may not benefit your true path, then what you're doing is taking a long route. You're taking a scenic route or whatever. And what I recommend is you want to get on your true path as soon as possible. As soon as possible. So the wrong path, and you can say that's the wrong focus or your wrong intention, but that's another reason why you may not be growing spiritually. Next reason, number 5, in no particular order, you haven't put in enough time. You haven't put in enough time. So let's use our same example as you came here to be a master numerologist. Say you only been studying for 2 weeks and you don't feel like you're getting any breakthroughs. Let me use another example. Say you're meditating, you start a meditation practice, and you've only been meditating for 2 weeks, and every time you meditate is for 5 minutes. At the end of the 2 weeks, you're like, I'm not seeing any visions, or I'm not having any intuitive downloads, or whatever you expect to receive from meditating for 5 minutes a day for 2 weeks. You're not there yet. It's because you haven't put in enough time. So replace meditation with whatever practice that you're doing. If you haven't put in enough consistent effort, then you don't have the right to say you haven't grown. Now, if you have put in a consistent effort, have the right focus, you're putting in the time, then you're not growing, then it's something else. But for this example, for this entry, you haven't put in enough time. It's as simple as that. You haven't put in enough time in order to have yourself benefit from whatever you're doing. So that's another reason why you may not be growing spiritually. You ain't putting in enough time, yo. Next reason, in no particular order, is you have no real practice or regimen. And this will tie into information overload. Usually the people that are studying, researching, and doing all that, all the intellectual memorizing facts and all that good stuff, they don't really have a practice. I'm telling you right now, if you're not at least meditating, you're probably not growing spiritually. Meditation is one of the cornerstones or key factors in order to grow spiritually. Now, there's many ways to meditate. I'm not saying that you have to sit in a yoga or in a lotus position and put your hands like that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have a meditation practice, you don't have an altar practice, if you don't have a magical routine, if you don't have a solar practice, if you don't have some sort of practice, something that you're doing, you may not be growing spiritually. Once again, yes, you can grow spiritually just reading, researching, and that stuff, but you're more than likely going to hit a block or a plateau. A plateau is where you feel like you're not growing. So you accumulate all this information. I promise you, at some point, you're gonna be like, I'm full and I don't know what to do. What helped me and what propelled me from a researcher and a studier to a doer was actually implementing certain practices. The main one that helped me was altar work. Altar work was one of the biggest key in order for me to grow spiritually. Taking care of the ancestors, connecting with deities. After that, then the meditation became easier, implemented that practice, implemented actually doing divination as opposed to reading about numerology, start to do numerology readings, start to do predictions with numerology. Instead of reading about astrology, actually doing astrological charts, reading people using astrology. You want to start the practice. You want a regimen. And I would say start here. 15 minutes of meditation every day. Doesn't matter how you meditate. Set up an altar. If you're looking for a practice to start, you're a beginner and you're coming across this information already, you're watching this video right now and you're straight fresh, a beginner to spirituality, I can assure you, you will expedite your spiritual growth. Start meditating, put up an altar. Anything you want to read or research after that, do it after you put in your actual practices, after you put in your spiritual work. I can assure you it'll make your path a lot easier. So no real practice or regimen is another reason why people aren't growing spiritually. The last reason that I will cover, and this probably the most convoluted, it's going to be different for every individual, is you have personal spiritual blocks. You have personal blocks. And like I said, this is going to be personal to you. So let me give some examples. You can be a very lazy person. If you're very lazy, that's going to become a block. You can be a very greedy person. If you're very greedy on your spiritual path, that may become a block. You can be a glutton. And if that's something that you're dealing with, that could be a block. You could be dealing with confidence. Confidence is a big thing in the spiritual community. something I haven't made a dedicated video to or something, but after working with so many people, I can assure you confidence is one of the biggest reasons or biggest blocks that hold people back. A lot of people are wanting to step out, start their spiritual business, or they're wanting to share their gifts with the world, but they don't have any confidence in themselves or whatever. So if you are lacking confidence, that's a block, yo. That's a super block. Another block is you may not be informed enough. You might be practicing and doing certain things, but you don't have the information that you need, the right information for your path. Therefore, lack of information becomes a block. And this is different than information overload. This is you not having the right information in order to do your work. So, like I said, the blocks can be it's going to be complex and it's going to be across the board. But I'm sure I can assure you, if you're watching this right now and if you're working on something, but something is holding you back, usually that's the block. The example I love to give with blocks is, say that you're a performer and you're a singer. Say you're a beautiful songbird. You make beautiful music. You sing very well. Your friends and family love it when you sing. But say that you have a fear of going on stage. That fear of going on stage becomes a block. So anything that's preventing you from getting to where you want to go is a block. So like I said, you have to evaluate this for yourself. So once again, the 7 reasons why you may not be growing spiritually in no particular order: environment, not the right environment for you, or an environment that's conducive for your spiritual growth; lack of guidance, dealing with too much information overload; you're on the wrong path or you have the wrong focus; you haven't put in enough time; you have no real practice or regimen or routine; personal spiritual blocks. So those are the 7 main reasons why you may not be growing spiritually. I still have people saying they can't hear me. You have to go back and watch the recording. Everybody, I'm getting responses and everything, but make sure, press 9 in the chat box if you can hear me. Pretty sure we're good. Or press 9 in the chat box. Also, remember to share the video. Something I've been saying when I do these live broadcasts, make sure to share the video. If you feel like this information is important, I'm not asking you to send any money or donate or buy anything, but what I do recommend is that you send a video or share the video, and also press the thumbs up. The thumbs up lets the YouTube community know that this information is important. I think my last video got 100 thumbs up real quick, so I want to make this another one that we thumbs up, we share, just do all that good for information, man. Like, I don't ask for no money, but I do ask for you to at least hit a thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Couple announcements, and I'll field any questions. Don't ask the questions yet. First announcement, salimyers.com. That is always where you want to go. That's my main website. Also, l9shop.com, el9shop.com. That is my online store. A lot of people already shop there. Got the ancestor money, all your altar materials, and a lot of spiritual supplies. So go there, l9shop.com, el9shop.com. Also, just a couple announcements as far as events. It ain't gonna be drawn out. Just gonna point you in the right direction. First event, the master class is the next one's up and running. If you're not familiar, I do a master class every 2 weeks. It has been delayed because I had to build the accelerator program, which I'll talk about next. But the master class is where I teach about a specific subject. After that class, you will have no problems in that particular area. The next master class is for how to discover your spiritual gifts, giving you astrology science, numerology science, also just science, period. If you don't know astrology or numerology, you don't have to know anything. All you have to do is come there with an open mind, put in the work that I suggest in that master class. After the class, I assure you, you'll be able to know what the hell you came here to do as far as your gift. For sure, no ifs, ands, or buts. So if that's something you're interested in, go to salimyers.com, go to masterclass. You can register for the event there. If you can't make it live, everyone that registered do receive a recording. So if you can't make it, you do get a recording, so you'll never miss the information. Also, the last one is the accelerator program. I see Chris and Lighton just put that up. Accelerator program is where you want to be if you're or in a position where you want to become more empowered, you want to harness your spiritual gift, you want to realize your God self, You want to master yourself. You want to become a spiritual master. That's one of the reasons why you want to get there. The second reason is you want to be able to share your gifts with the world. You're in a place where you feel like you're growing. You feel like you have something to offer, but you don't know the specifics, or you don't have the right support, the right community, the right guidance in order to put yourself out there. It's also going to benefit you. So you're working on yourself, wanting to master yourself, or you're wanting to share your gifts with the world. The Spiritual Mastery Accelerator program is by far my best offering for humanity at this point in my incarnation. Spiritualaccelerator.com. We have modules in there. You get courses. So if you like self-paced study courses, it's there for you. Downloadable worksheets, all that good stuff. We have 3 live events. One event is the webcast, Accelerator webcast, where I come on screen and teach you a specific strategy to expedite spiritual mastery. And that becomes what I call the monthly target. So you have something to focus on all week, all month. That's one of the webcasts we have every month. Another one is a Q&A, basically question and answer. And the third one is a member's choice, where we either have a group meditation, we do practice readings and consultations, or we have open discussions either freely or on a specific topic. The first member choice, we had an open discussion about magic. So we laid out information about magic. Members had questions, personal questions. So it's a time where we can come together as a community. We also have the Sangha, where we have a private forum, challenges, so many benefits. What I was told spiritually was to over deliver. I can assure you, fam, if you're in a spot where you need community, guidance, support, all that stuff, basically all the blocks I laid out, that program addresses everything. Spiritualaccelerator.com. I'm telling you, get in now before the investment goes up, because it's going to go up as members increase, and as the modules increase, the amount will go up. It's one of those things where I need to talk about it as often as possible, because the best offer that I have as far as helping people to work with me one-on-one. Pickett said, don't forget to tell them to order the new book. L9shop.com, my new book, Noun Purpose Manual. Where's it at? Noun Purpose Manual, accepting pre-orders. Everybody that pre-ordered does get a signed copy. The book is thick, 170 plus pages. This is actually a proof, and I had to do a little bit of editing to the proof, but it's solid, yo. If you're in a spot where you need to find purpose, you're not finding any fulfillment, I can assure you this is the book you want to get. Like I said, all pre-order copies do get a sign. I will autograph it, sign it, or whatever for free. L9shop.com. The pre-orders has extended. I'm probably going to take pre-orders until the 7th of September, because there is going to be a slight delay. So L9shop.com, EL9shop.com. Click on books and you can see that right there, the pre-orders for the Noun Purpose Manual. Monumental book, guaranteed to be another #1 bestseller. All right, so any questions that you have pertaining to spiritual growth, we'll answer it right now. Let me see if I mess up anything. What up, Renee, Annette, D. Siglar, Elena? Hey, what's up, sweetheart? Conscious Souls, Denise. Knowing how to meditate is a block. Everyone talking about meditation, but nobody teaches the correct way to meditate, because there's many ways to meditate. There is no one correct way to meditate. Some of the more important things that you need to consider is keeping your spine straight. Spine straight is very important, and also taking deep breaths. Other than that, there's many ways of meditating. You don't even have to sit still. You can do what's called a moving meditation. In the accelerator program, in the last module I released, Mastering Spiritual Mastery, I actually have a whole lesson when I go into meditation and talk about the different ways to meditate. The breath, the 777 meditation, the mantra meditation, mindfulness. There's so many different ways to meditate. But probably the most important things, keep your spine straight and take deep breaths. So everyone's talking about meditation. Everyone's teaching meditation. You just have to take one thing that you're learning and actually do it. Once you do it, your spirit will tell you other ways. It may tell you, instead of sitting like this, lay down. But until you start, you're not going to be able to tweak it into a perfect regimen for you. So there is no one way to meditate. It's the best way that works for you. Amoria, what's up, Amoria? I will see you tomorrow. Definitely. Hey, yo, you need to tag me, or I don't know if you have the show schedule. I will be on Amoria's radio show tomorrow on Blog Talk Radio. She tagged me, Amoria. Do something so I can make sure that the people that rock with me know where I'll be at. But Amoria fam, yo. You see Amoria Tucker in the building? That is fam. So definitely rock with her. I meditate best when I'm listening to music, cleaning, walking, scrying, nature. Beautiful. Hey, Tanae, what's going on? I need my ancestor money ASAP. I don't know what that means. If you already ordered, we usually ship within 5 days. I'll tell you now, we're a little bit behind. The ancestor money is a whole business within itself. That's about all I'm gonna say about that. Do you have to use PayPal? Can you just use card? If you're talking about at l9shop.com, when you check out, when you click checkout and you get directed to PayPal, right below the pay now, there's a I don't have a PayPal account or use debit card, and you can click on that and you can use your debit or credit card. So you don't have to have a PayPal account in order to shop at l9shop.com. Yes, that program is legit. Hey, you see it. Hey, the fam telling y'all the accelerator program is where it's at, especially for the investment amount. The way I put it is I charge $100 a half hour at this point to work with me one-on-one. Not gonna lie, that's probably the best way to work. I mean, not probably, it is the best way to work with me one-on-one if you can afford it. $100 a half hour, $200 an hour. Also have a mentoring program. I don't announce it that much because I don't want to work with everybody personally one-on-one for that long. But it is a service that I offer, whatever. But if you can't afford that or whatever, I'm telling you, the accelerator program is the best way to work with me. I'm answering questions that I could be charging for. You get to work with me in a capacity that's like having a master teacher. If you're one of those people like, I need a master teacher, I need a mentor, I need a guide, that's what I'm recommending for you. Love the accelerator program. Thank you, Jazz. What's up, Jazzy? One of the bright stars in the accelerator, already getting investments for her services. She's a very dope medium, very dope medium. Been in the accelerator program since the inception. She's already having paid clients or whatever by implementing some of the things I suggested to her. Thank you. The accelerator is epic. Thank you, Elena. Hot Sexy Girls Online. That's spam. You know you done something when you finally get a little spam. You feel me? Think away where there's no way. Yes, welcome. Can you say sound? Can you say the sound on YouTube for meditate? Binaural beats by binaural, isochronic tones, alpha wave tones, solfeggio harmonics, SOLFEGGIO. All those are keywords that you can punch into YouTube. I also have some free, pardon me, some free meditation joints on my channel. I need to find the right one. 4, 7, 8 breathing technique has been the closest. We'll start there. Thank you for responding. No problem. Soul Scribe Radio tag is coming. Yeah, Soul Scribe Radio Blog Talk. Amaria, yep, Amaria is a legend. Oh, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, Amaria. But about time you have me on your show, though. I ain't gonna get on there and clown you. I should have been the first guest. Okay, I am currently trying to heal from some side effects of medicine I was on earlier this year. What are the best things to do for a quick recovery spiritually? I burn green candles to meditate. If you're dealing with certain medicine, what I recommend is I'm gonna recommend one thing. I was going to recommend something else, but you have to pay for it. So I'm going to recommend one thing. You have to pay for this, but it's already something you're doing. Is go do a fast. If you're having some side effects from medicine, what you want to do is clean your system. So I'm gonna recommend you do a fast. In fact, I just came off a 6.5 day juice fast, whatever. Didn't consume any solid foods, just drink juice for 6.5 days. And shout out to other people in the accelerator who did that with me. One of the things about the accelerator we have what's called the Focus Mastermind. So I put in the I want to say like a few days before I went on the fast, I put on their juice fasting group. Few people, few members of the accelerator joined in. Shout out to Jazz. I don't want to forget no names. Janelle, Caesar, Micaiah, a few, Pickett, Pickett fasted. A few other people fasted or whatever. So we fasted together. But what I recommend is obviously fasting with other people is a lot better. But if you do a fast, is a way of cleaning your system. So you can look up what's called a master cleanse, which I believe uses water and lemons in order to fast, or you can just do a juice fast. But what you want to do is get alkaline in your system. So consume as much alkaline juices as possible, or you can do a raw food alkaline diet for a period of time, at least a week. So either raw food diet or do a fasting or detox with the master cleanse. I would say do that for a week. Take some chlorophyll supplements or some sort of blue-green algae, spirulina, go-to cola or something like that to help flush your system out. Lemons and water is an alkaline water. When you put lemon in any water, it makes it an alkaline water. So what you're doing essentially is getting the poisons out of your system and you're alkalizing your blood. The fact is most diseases can't survive in an alkaline state. So when you get your body alkaline, it's going to get rid of the side effects from the medicine. Kind of a long drawn out answer, but hopefully that helps you. Yeah, we've been out of motive. I got to get some more in. I meant that in a good way. I love the ancestral money. Once again, like I laid on the last webcast or the last YouTube broadcast that my ancestor money is blessed by the heavens. For me to get on here and say why my ancestor money is powerful, it'd be very egoic. All I recommend is type my name, Ancestor Money and Ali, and you'll see other people have made YouTube videos about my ancestor money. One person I love to shout out is Pretty Boss TV. She has a video saying ancestor money changed my life. Hashtag S. Ali Myers. So go check that out. Don't believe me. Get it for yourself. At least burn it with an offering. Like a lot of people, let me state this. You're wanting the ancestor money, but you're not giving food offering. I would say don't buy no money from me. Start your altar and give food offering first. You know, you don't have to get ancestor money. But I assure you, you put the ancestor money on top of your food offering, you don't have to believe me. Go to my website, l9shop.com, el9shop.com. Get the lowest denomination possible. Get the cheapest amount possible. If you're already having an altar, you're making offerings, burn it. Then base your opinion after you do that. But there's a reason why my ancestor money is powerful. Like I said, it'd be very egoic for me to talk about it. Just read the comments on my videos. Okay, yeah, somebody's taking a free course, salimyers.com. Go to start and go to resources, and you can see where you can take my 7-week free spiritual growth course. No strings attached, no credit card or anything. 7 weeks, you'll get an email sent to you, and you'll get a lesson and an exercise every week for 7 weeks. After that, you can unsubscribe from my email list. It's up to you. Okay, on altar, I was told not to put alcohol there if there was a known alcoholic that was deceased, and I did anyway. And I saw that day how everything was weird. The energy itself was drunk. Lesson learned. Okay, I didn't see a question, so I'm not going to comment on that. But me personally, I'll put vices on the altar. I do struggle sometimes with. All right. Yeah, Moringa is good as well too. Thank you, Conscious. So Moringa is very good. Okay. Hey, what can you do to improve our connection to the ancestor? I have an altar and I'm praying there and giving offerings. That's what I recommend. If you have an altar, if you want to connect with the ancestor, the easiest way to do so is through the altar. The way I explain it to people is you're connected with the ancestors, period. What the altar does is it gives you a telephone to the spirit world because the altar is a bridge from our reality to the spirit realm. So when you put up an altar, they're already connected with you, but you'll be able to usually see them in a dream, or you'll have more synchronicities involving the ancestors. So if you feel like you don't have a strong connection, you have your altar up, it may not be you may not have had it up as long, or you may not have been consistent with your offerings or whatever. One of the things I notice with people is if they had in the back of their mind, I need to put on my altar, but they haven't, and it's been months or even years, usually those people are having a lot more negative effects. They're having relationship problems, financial problems, stuff like that. One of the things that the ancestors do to get our attention is they kind of shake up our reality. I remember a time where I was hard body on my altar, I want to say for a couple years, then I took a long break. It was like, I want to say within the first week or two of during my break, the spirit clearly told me, because I started dealing with money problems. I was working at the time. I had relationship problems, not personal primary relationship problem, but like associates and friends was just, it was the energy was still, it was a little bit weird or whatever. And what the spirit told me was I stopped giving my altar offering. So I went back, got on my offering, and everything started to clear up or whatever. So if your connection may not have been long enough or whatever. Remember to like the video, y'all. Make sure to thumbs up the video. Or I guess thumbs down if you don't like it. Jazz the medium. How can I stop people from draining me? That is a very, very difficult question. How can I stop people from draining me? It's a very, very complex question. First thing is no one can drain you unless you allow them. Yes, there are certain high level magic that people can do, but I'm telling you right now, most people, what they do is send thought forms to you. With me being on YouTube, Facebook, being a public figure, if you don't think I receive thought forms in a form of, and thought forms are just like basically like bad wishes on you. I wish harm on you. I wish you not to do well, whatever. It's just thought forms or whatever. That's like the first thing people send to you. And what I'm getting at though is nobody can send anything to you that you don't allow them to send. So what I recommend is not focusing externally. And I'm just going to give a simple answer because this would change if I spoke with you or whatever. But what I recommend is you want to live the best life possible. So ask yourself, am I doing what I think I need to be doing? Am I being the best version of myself? Every day, am I doing what I feel like that my spirit wants me to do as opposed to my lower self? Am I following my higher self as opposed to my lower self? You want to start living a life that, I hate to use the word, but for lack of better words, you want to live a righteous life. You want to go about life being right, true, and exact to your spirit, to your calling, to your mission. So what I recommend in order for other people to stop draining you is you live the highest possible life you can. It's a simple answer and it's very complex as far as how you do that, but I can assure you, you will notice a difference. 100 is not a lot of money. Thank you. It really, it's a lot of money to most people because they're used to free information. Just like I have a program and it's X amount of dollars per month. I get it. People are like, well, I can just watch YouTube. You once again, you don't have to pay for anything. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you for sure, I didn't start to grow spiritually until I invested in my spirituality. Shout out to Chris. I was over his crib last week. Shout out to him and his Wiz Divine Queen sister. And what I was telling them was we was talking about something, and we got on a conversation about spending money. And I was telling them about when I first started getting medallions from Tybro, tybro.com, and most of the medallions are $300. And what I was telling them, and I'm telling y'all, is I wasn't getting that for just to have the tool. What it was it was training my psychology to invest in my spirituality. It was a point in my life and no clothes, no books, no nothing. Everything that I spent hundreds of dollars on was for spirituality. Spending $1,500 to get wands, spending, you know, hundreds, thousands on books and stuff like that. But my point is, my spiritual growth started to change for the better, because what I was showing my higher self in the universe is I'm willing to pay for my spirituality. Right now, if you've been studying for 10 years and you haven't had any big breakthrough, it may be because you're not spending and investing in your spirituality. And I'm not saying invest with me, I'm saying invest with somebody. Once you understand how money works in this reality, money is an energy. You know, I need to do a whole video on that. But once you understand how money works in this reality, you understand that you need to donate. You understand that you need to invest in the things that you deem important. If spirituality is important to you, I highly recommend that you spend more than just $5 on crystals and stuff like that. So $100 is not that much money. At this point, I probably spent 5 digits on spirituality. And it's priceless. You can't get that back. You're welcome. Hey, shout out to you too, Tanae Boyd. All right, thank you, Kenny. Numerology course was epic. I'm not sure. I'm always getting emails. Are you doing this course again? Are you doing that course again? I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I am learning a lot from you. Oh, thank you. Amoria, what day and time is your show? What day and time is your show, Amoria? I know I'm on there tomorrow. I think she said her normal day is Wednesdays. You have lost weight a little bit. To be honest, that was one of the main reasons why I did my last fast. Since I've been sovereign, when I say sovereign, I mean self-employed. I've been self-employed since last April, and the job I retired from, I actually delivered out of a semi truck, hand delivered out of a semi truck. I worked 4 days a week, and I was emptying a semi truck by hand with a dolly, delivering to pizza restaurants. So I was working out damn near 4 days a week, really. After I got sovereign, you know, most of my work is sitting at the computer, teaching stuff like that or whatever. I picked up about 10 pounds real quick. So I think I lost the 10 pounds I picked up. I'm going to lose some more too. My ancestor money just came in the mail yesterday. Woohoo! Yes, it does work. Don't believe me. Truth, got some before the new moon and things have been happening. That's like a couple people back to back on the ancestor money. I had no idea there was a group. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know where I'm at. Y'all hard body in this joint. God, dog, I don't even know where everybody is. Okay, there we go. Your family will show you they appreciate the food and ancestor money offering tangibly. Very true. Thank you, Elena. Oh, you're welcome for the knowledge. You're very welcome. Ancestor money from you, the bomb. Thank you. Somebody else. You know what I mean? It's like multiple people. Like I said, oh, believe me. Hear what everybody else is saying. Noun purpose will be available on ebook. I do not want to take shipment to Poland. Yes, it will be available on ebook on l9shop.com and also on Amazon. Do more live. Yeah, I am. I have been doing more live. But I'm probably going to do another one this week. And I'm also going to get back to my regular YouTube videos as well. Got so much to share with y'all. One of the things I'm doing is making sure that I'm not repeating a bunch of stuff that may already be out there, which makes it hard because I don't watch anything. Even though I got Facebook, you see me posting. I don't read Facebook timeline. Don't watch YouTube videos. Like I'm about my higher self, about my spiritual work. So I said that to say, if I release something, if it's a repeat of something, I'll delete it. I don't want to repeat what other people are doing. I want fresh information. I want new information. I don't want to overload you with information that's already out there. I can come up here and flex every day, just brag and talk and, you know what I mean? Do that every day. I can do a YouTube live. But like I said, I just don't want to repeat information. I want to make sure it's pertinent. I want to make sure that you can use this after you get off. for free without paying for anything. Like I said, you want to pay for something, invest in the program, spiritualaccelerator.com. Invest in a one-on-one session, SLEMyers.com. Invest in a masterclass, or L9 shop, invest in some spiritual supplies. But other than that, you don't have to spend a dime. I'm having a hard time opening my third eye. I follow your video instructions. I'm still blocked. What do I do? I'm not sure what you have done, so it's kind of hard to say what you can do. Meditation and diet are probably the two biggest importance to safely open up your third eye. Welcome for everybody saying thank you. Islam, bro. Islam. Great. Islam. Peace. Talk about ancestors' debt. All right. Ancestors' debt. Ancestor debt is generational. If you have a lot of poverty in your bloodline, simple example is you have grandparents who transition and they had a lot of debt. They go to the spirit realm, that debt gets trickled down to the living generation. So say your cousins, your sisters, your brothers, even your children, your aunts, uncles, stuff like that. Their debt is gonna trickle down to the living bloodline. How do we know this? Is because most families who are in poverty, usually everyone is impoverished, or they may have one person or two that gets out of the poverty cycle. But what it is trickles down, and that's one of the things that the ancestor money does. This is something I cannot verify and prove to you, but this is something that I have experienced, and at this point, a lot of other people experience. Once you set up an altar, once you give offerings, and then you burn ancestor money to them, it's going to help minimize your poverty consciousness. And yes, I'll talk about that in a second. It's going to minimize your poverty consciousness. You'll start to chip away at the doubts and the things that's blocking you from getting money in your life. That's one of the things that people notice is they're able to hold on to money more. That's one of the ways that you know that you're getting out of the poverty consciousness and the generational poverty. Ancestor debt deals with the whole generation. When your ancestors leave, if they have a lot of debt, then that debt gets trickled down to the living ancestors. Oh yeah, poverty consciousness. Go to Amazon.com, type in poverty consciousness. It's by my brother Chris Huffman, and I'm telling you, that is one of the best books I've read in recent time. And this is not biased. Demand for anyone dealing with financial poverty. You're wanting to get over poverty consciousness. You want to start to have money flow to you easily. Poverty consciousness on Amazon.com. I assure you, that's a classic. And congrats to Chris, bestseller status. So that book got bestseller status on its first day. It's a monumental book, monumental. So many key points in your video. That's why it's recorded. Go back and watch it. What can offer the ancestors? Oh, I can't read all of that. Man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go down because it's a lot more, and I gotta go, yo. There's a money that I just ordered a few days ago. Can't wait to get that. But yeah, the pre-orders on the book, I'm telling you now, it's going to be delayed a little bit, but it should be shipped out by the 7th. Invest in a personal reading with Ali, life changing. That's someone speaking from experience. I say $100 a half hour, really playing myself, man. I could charge a whole lot more for what I'm doing. At this point, I'm tapping into past lives and all kinds of stuff. So it is. Not going to flex my chest on that. I just rather let other people talk about it, like with most of the things I do. Okay, now the chat's freezing up. Okay, I think I did answer all the questions, but it's been an hour over, so that's it. Once again, make sure to thumbs up for me, please. Please thumbs up. Share the video if this resonated with you. If you share it and tag me, hell, I might send you something. I might give you something free. So you share the video on Facebook and tag me, I might send you something free, who knows, or whatever. Spiritualaccelerator.com. Make sure to go there if you're looking for a community, looking for a program, looking for guidance, support, looking for training modules, live webcasts, all that. I mean, it's too many features and names, literally so many features. Spiritualaccelerator.com. Also, the Discovering Your Spiritual Gifts masterclass, ssalimyers.com. Click on masterclass. Need one-on-one consultations, you can find that at ssalimyers.com. Also, l9shop.com is my online store, L9EL, the number 9shop.com. The 7-week spiritual growth course, ssalimyers.com. Click on resources and you'll find it there. So until next time, y'all, appreciate all the love and support. And I will see you again this week. I'm going to do another live. Peace.